Hey guys, today we're going to cover the Siegfried. Now, apologies in advance, I didn't actually manage to capture the full game, but most of the game is covered. So, on to build and modules here. I'm going to go with aiming systems because there's a bit of dispersion, a bit of traversing torpedo tubes. Though main battery mod is really not a bad idea. It's quite viable because the turret traverse is pretty darn horrific. So, aiming systems is my choice, but main battery mod not bad. Propulsion is a good choice again, but I think steering, because this thing's steering is horrific. Horrific. Excuse me. We'll get more into that later, but I definitely go for concealment. And steering gears, again, not a bad idea. So definitely concealment though, because really the biggest strength of this boat is its concealment, because it is basically a really stealthy battleship. With a borderline cruiser armor, but it's enough to tank angle against mostly anything. Main battery mod just seems to be the best choice. You could run range, but I think main battery is just the better option because you want more fire rate. So, with this, it's not bad. I think it's good. But here's my build for it. Maybe a bit unorthodox. I use Azurlane Scharnhorst. You also get the sniper skill, really very helpful. Good day's work. You could run roller for extra torpedo detect build. Again, with its bad turning, might be useful. It's got really bad turret traverse, so I would go for crisscross. You could go for the torpedo launch skill, but I don't think it's worth that skill. I really think it's worth that. It's just too much investment into the whole line. And definitely go for a turret traverse. Firefighter is kind of obvious. Just reduce your fire chance. Master Mechanic is kind of obvious again. Walter build is probably the better option. Just checking if running with scissors gives you cruisers. No, it's all battleships, so it's really useful. So Walter build. Azurlane Baltimore to improve its steering again, and Norman Scott. Now, if you don't have Azurlane Scharnhorst, which is perfectly acceptable, and you don't have Azurlane Baltimore, you can run different options. But this is with my current build, you can see the reload 22.9, but the same as the Bismarck and the Tirpitz. Torpedoes are pretty standard for basically Tirpitz torpedoes, honestly. Maneuverability, look at that, 880 meters turning circle. And a little bit of rudder shift because I buffed it so heavily, 10.6. It's not great. It's not great. If you look at the Gneisenau, for example, look at the rudder shift 830 compared to 880. You know, rudder shift time is not as good. It's worse. But yeah, I've been buffing this, mate. I've got like everything on. Scharnhorst is 800. It's just the rudder shift turning circle is horrific, absolutely horrific. Didn't go to the Tirpitz here. Tier 7 big battleship, 850. Not 880, 850. Bismarck should be around about the same. 850, there we go. Rudder shift is slower, yeah, that's true, but you gotta remember I've been buffing this. Odin, 790. It's the rudder turning circle radius is extremely bad for the Siegfried. Also, the Odin fires faster. It's got better armor and more reliable. Well, I wouldn't say it. It's got better armor. It's got very good guns, and they've got more of them. So, arguably, this is a kind of, on paper at least, a worse Odin. So yeah, just go over the back to commander build as well. I'd really recommend, if you don't have these in Azurlane Scharnhorst, you could go on a cruiser captain, and you could just go full agility. You know, inspiration as well. You don't have Azurlane Baltimore, you could run the Italian commander. I'm trying to find him right now, actually. You could run Minbelli for better reload of your cruiser guns, because 22.9 is a battleship reload. It's exactly the same as what I have for the Bismarck and Tirpitz, so yeah, it's you could really spec it. There's a lot of different ways you can build the Siegfried, which is nice, and yeah. Without much further ado, I'll put you to the battle. I'm sorry, it's halfway, it's like 3 minutes in, but it was just me getting to a good position here. You didn't really miss anything, which is nice. The Siegfried is all about positioning, just like every ship in the game, but I think it's more really prone to just get yourself in the right position, and then you can take advantage of it, because the guns are pretty accurate for Germans. I mean, I expect sure 3 bounces, but I hit them 3 times. With basically a Gneisenau. It's a little bit more accurate Gneisenau, and the guns are much more reliable than a Gneisenau. Though this is tier 7, this isn't tier 6. You also don't have the same sort of armor scheme as Gneisenau, where if you're angry you can bounce, do quite quite well, most of the things. If you angle your middle of your ship, you can bounce a lot of good stuff, and it's pretty darn powerful. The nose and stern are 26, sorry, which means you can't bounce 15 inch, and everything at tier 7, sorry, is 15 inch. Tier 6, you'll get some exceptions. Sin-up is not one of them. You can see just not enough angle there, and he did do some decent chunk damage, but he didn't kill me. That's the main thing. And with this build, you get 4 heals and a well-tier build as well. So a lot of good stuff coming, you know, a lot of good stuff from heals, a lot of survivability if you have this particular build. You could run auto again, but I'm not sure how you want to spec your other commanders. Just checking the smoke firing penalty there, just real quick, because wonder what's going on with that. So he's still getting some decent chunks there. If he hits the back of the ship or the front of the ship, he can potentially do some serious damage. If he hits the middle, then I can reduce it. I can actually angle against that comfortably. The Citadel belt armor is 30mm, which means the Yamato, the Citadel angle belt armor is 30mm, so it means the Yamato can comfortably Citadel you from almost any angle. So it's pretty darn horrific dealing with the Yamato. But again, you can deal with the Yamato as well. So yeah, as I said, it's basically like an Eisenhower, but you get rid of the very good armor and give it mediocre armor. Still very good armor, don't get me wrong. And you give it really better than normal dispersion for these guns. And then you give it really bad turning. Really bad turning. And the boat's not small, by the way. It's about the same size as a Scharnhorst. It's in terms of a supercruiser, it's a fucking big supercruiser, excuse my French. But yeah, no, it's more like a stealthy surprise. I'm here and I've got, you know, what do you call it? 6 15-inch guns, you know, ready to smack your broadside. You know, you've got 11.7 detection, my build. You don't have Azure Lane Baltimore. Makawa is a good option as well, and you could run Makawa and Belly or Norman Scott and Scharnhorst. I like the Norman Scott Scharnhorst and double accuracy build because these guns need to be accurate. You've got a pretty darn long reload, and at tier 7 it's kind of important. Like an Eisenhower is a great ship at tier 6, but at tier 7 it can struggle sometimes. Though it's a very good boat, don't get me wrong, even at tier 7, the Siegfried is needs to be special in some regard. So it's got 11.7 detection with my build. That's really what makes this build shine. You go across here, you find a good position, you only open up when it's beneficial. So you capture broadside Zara here, fire it out. See? Not a great result, but it doesn't matter. You can always try again. I'm in a position right now that is trying, not creating one yet, but creating a crossfire to my team here. Positioning is quite important for this boat. Even if it takes a while to get there, it's definitely worth it, because if you land the right salvo at the right time, you are basically an accurate Eisenhower. Yeah, so, you know, catching broadsides, really, you can do that comfortably in this cruiser, because at the end of the day, you have cruiser concealment, and you're basically an accurate Eisenhower as well. That wasn't a great shot there, but we'll see. No, he's moving forward. But yeah, now, capitalising the broadside sin-up. Now, the sin-up, I can overmatch its nose. Sounds a bit weird coming from a cruiser, but yes, I can overmatch the sin-up's nose. So, I've caught him in a position where he's showing his flat nose to me. I don't know why he's doing this, but whatever. You know, now he's trying to angle. And then if he tries to angle that, then he's giving broadside to the ships to my right. This is all about crossfires. Create the crossfires. Now, fortunately, he bounced everything because you angle. You don't buy tank in this boat, you angle in this boat. And you can bounce almost everything. Almost everything. The only thing that's going to really mess you up, almost no matter the angle, is the Yamato. And that's almost true for every other ship in the game. So, yeah, angle carefully. You could buy tank cruisers, yes. Pretty much every cruiser except another Siegfried. But it's always better to angle. Angling is life. Angling is key, especially for the Siegfried. And really, most ships in the game really benefit from angling. The only rare occasions is the Russian tier 7, and maybe the Peter. The setup doesn't benefit from bow tanking, as you can see, because I'm just chunking him from the front, just right through the nose there. You probably will get the Citadel on the setup through the nose, but it has been possible. Look at that. 3 pens, 11k, 4 pens, you know, he's not having that, he's not happy with it, really not happy with it. Torpedoes as well, you really can't force them. If you should give torpedoes, you're giving yourself a really uncomfortable amount of broadside, and it wouldn't be a problem if the turning circle wasn't so bad. It's really bad, that turning circle. And there we go, like, you can't something broadside at that range, but it's a Russian boat, yeah. You need to remind yourself, you've got concealment guns. You could mess that boat up, you know? My torpedoes didn't even get there, and I messed them up. These would have done a job, yeah, sure, but, like... the power of these guns, mate, when they're accurate, it's really powerful, it's really good. So you're just catching broadsides and advancing to positions where you can take advantage of these broadsides, because you've got this low concealment. I'm not spotted, you know, because everything on this side is killed. So you gotta progress, you gotta move on. Catching broadsides using your concealment is really the best thing you can do in this boat. I buffed the heels in this boat, and I buffed the turning circle in this boat. Well, rudder shift, sorry. You can't buff the turning circle. So I turn as fast as I can, and I have a lot of heels. Additionally, I buffed the accuracy as much as I could as well. So with my build, if I get caught in a bad position, I can heal. I can tank a little bit. I don't like to tank. Not advisable, but you can do it. I can also disengage because I've got concealment on. And if I can't disengage, anything that can outspot me, I can probably kill. And then because you've got the double accuracy, you've got Norman Scott, you've got actually Scharnhorst. When I fire at something, it's a very high chance of getting a decent hit. Now, as you can see here, I did bracket him, but the grouping was really nice, you know. I think I messed up my shot, but still, I think that was a very decent shot, considering you saw the accuracy there. If not, the mess though, it's not that big a reload. 22.9 is basically Turpit's Bismarck reload, which is usually quite a good reload. 22.9 is pretty good. And again, you can buff that if you want to do. Edinburgh, not angling enough. Edinburgh benefits really from bow tanking, because the 30mm bow, but its side armor is definitely very, very, very squishy. So naturally, fortunately for me, this Edinburgh does give a little bit too much broadside yet again, and it gets a bit lucky. So that's fine. Mention I've still got 3 heals. Siegfried, because it is a heavy cruiser, it gets really good heals. So I'm actually holding off this heal, and I'll use it very soon. Just waiting for a little bit more damage to be done to me before I can heal that back up. Edinburgh is angled, but because of these guns and the overmatch, it still means you can do some reliable damage. Stern tanking in Edinburgh is not advisable because you can just aim up and just go right through. Bow tanking is a bit more comfortable because you can actually mitigate most of your damage. Anyway, Edinburgh has decided that none of that. Oh, never mind. He wasn't going to get slapped there, but the Adigo finished him off. Probably time to pop my heal right now. Hopefully I've done that. Come on, sir. Future, past Carlo. Come on, give me my heal. We'll get there eventually. Odin has decided to engage me. Not great. He's got better armor and faster reloading guns, and these guns have no problem dealing with me. Fortunately for me though, I can bow tank him, but he can bow tank me as well. So I can do that. Fire torpedoes off one side. My sonar was running for the Edinburgh, so I won't know if the one his torpedoes will come. It's a little bit concerning. I did pop the heel there. He's getting quite good broadside, so that was unfortunate. Alright, look at the maneuverability of this boat. I was trying to dodge the go between the both, and I ended up taking them both. You see that? Unfortunate. He did fire the torpedoes too early, and because of that I did live, but if it wasn't because of that, he fired them a bit too late, but on the right time, probably would have died there. And I don't know if I could do it, purely because this boat does not turn well. The rudder shift, turning circle is something you can't really change. I can buff the rudder shift, but it's still not good. You're not gonna duke and dodge shells all the time in this boat. You either tank the shell, or you get hit by it. You tank the shell, or you take damage from it, you know? Now, again, when my heals pop in handy here, when you're in these rough engagements, you will take some damage, and I've still got an extra heal after this. I wish I popped it earlier, or I wish I had a little bit of time to disengage, because firing this massa probably was not the best idea for me, but I feel my torpedoes are reloaded. I'm on about 10k health, and I can heal only a little bit more. So if he captures B, and I YOLO rush this massa, maybe we could win, but in retrospect, what I really should have done, and this is something a lot of players do, and it's kind of frowned upon, and I really regret my actions right now. Actually, no, I did this right. I would not fired at the massa and just tried to cap. That's really what I would have done in the perfect scenario. But he's just a little bit too close. I maybe should have sailed for hard left, sorry, and tried to disengage. But I don't feel. Well, there might be there might not have been enough time here. So I mean, argument could be made, but I think I might have thrown this game a little bit. It doesn't help that our cruiser did not go for the cap on B. There he is. Okay, go for it. Massa got some heavy chunking there from being bow tanking, because bow tanking doesn't really work well sometimes. His secondaries are working me over pretty darn hardcore. I'm trying to use the island as cover here. Oh, I'm not looking too pretty here. Use the island as cover, try and avoid detection. Maybe I can get my torpedoes off, that's the only hope now. Because if I reverse, I'm just gonna go show this broadside here. I am angled though. The angling did save me there. This is a massa, it's very unlikely that I'm actually going to get the torpedoes off. I got the torpedoes off, it's great, but he's turned the other way. So, those torpedoes are going nowhere. And one of them decides to hit the island where there's no island to be found. But yeah, secondaries are really not much to look at, by the way, in case you've noticed. Really nothing. There's like 5 on each side, which is honestly nothing, considering it's basically a battleship. Very surprised I live here. I probably die to secondaries? No. Okay. Oh no, he beached himself. Okay, that would have been Oh, are those torpedoes gonna kill him? Ah, no, time runs out. And because our cruiser didn't get the cat fast enough, and yeah, I don't know if he had the time for it really. I don't know. You tell me guys in the comments below. I think we could have won this, maybe, but we'll see. Anyway, so 174k, almost a damage record. Prime example of using the Siegfried well in catching people off guard and creating those crossfires for you to take advantage of. So hope this helps, and I'll catch you next time. Bye for now.